Okay, so Captain America 4 slash Incredible Hulk 2 Brave New World Eternals Part 2. You can tell this was a mismatch of movies thrown together. And that they went, okay, what plot points do we still have, and what other random villains do we still have? If you're wanting to watch this because you want to see Red Hulk, the vast majority of the Hulk fights are shown in the teasers and in the trailers. So Red Hulk is only there in the very, very bare ending of the third act because they needed something to do. Which is why they had the leader who was a super genius whose plans didn't work out all the time. This movie has a lot of homework if you want to understand everything that's going on. Celestial Island. Did you watch the Eternals? If not, that's where that happened. Did you watch Captain America and the Winter Soldier? Or Falcon and Winter Soldier? No? Okay, then Isaiah Bradley's gonna kind of throw you for a loop. That's where he's introduced. I will say this, I thought his stuff was done incredibly well. There are some really nice dramatic moments. The comedy fits pretty well. The action is very hit or miss, which is weird because normally in a Marvel movie, the action's done very well, the comedy's over the top and is used far too often, and the drama doesn't work. In this one, the drama works, the comedy hits in just the right spots, but the action just feels kind of... You can tell this film doesn't really seem to get in like second gear. A lot of it seems to be idling, and then you're like, okay, we're gonna continue this plot. Oh, we're not. Okay. This is kind of just gonna kind of like show up. Okay. It's like, okay. Wait, I thought she was Sabra. I thought she was supposed to be like the Israeli superhero. Okay, no, so they've reworked her character now, so she's a former Israeli who's also a widow, like a black widow. Okay, that's weird. You're probably thinking, well, wait, how come Captain America's suit has like Wakandan vibranium? Oh, yeah, that also was mentioned in Falcon and Winter Soldier. I love the interplay between Captain America and the new Falcon. I thought they had a real great chemistry. Anthony Mackie does a fantastic job in this. Harrison Ford really, really made me wish William Hurt. I don't think Harrison Ford he just seemed to be an odd cast for this. But they need someone who was older, who could be, Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. I mean, this one was fine. This is weird. I mean, none of the Marvel films have been like, oh, that was amazing. Did you remember when this happened? And then there's no mid-credit sequence. So I got to sit there for 10 minutes just to see what we're hoping is the teaser for Phase 6. Is it Phase 6? Phase 4, I think, is done. We're in Phase 5? This was the problem where, like, Phases 1, 2, and 3 were nice, clean. You knew where things were going. Oh, Cybertruck. You knew where things were going. Things were laid out. It's like, oh, this one's getting the Avengers. This one's setting up things for, the fall of the Avengers. This one is setting up things for the Infinity Gauntlet. Boom. There's the Canterbury Tales sort of thing. This one, it's just... You had to watch so many other things. Oh, be sure to watch The Incredible Hulk, too, or else the Thunderbolt Ross... Betty Ross leader stuff won't make sense. So be sure that you watch that, the second Marvel film that came out, which we watched recently, which wasn't that bad. It's weird because like Incredible Hulk was more of a drama with some action thrown into it. This one, not a bad movie. It's not horrible. I mean, there have been worse Marvel films, but it's going to be weird seeing how this ties into everything else, since it seemed to take a bunch of random plot threads and try to haphazardly throw them together. I almost wish, it's probably never happened, we don't do like DVDs and Blu-ray releases anymore with like unreleased footage. I would have loved to have seen what the Serpent Society stuff was. You can tell that there was like, oh, and here's Sidewinder. Why? What part did he really have? It reminded me very much when we saw Kraven, and they had, like, oh, well, here's the other assassin. Why? Well, we need someone to help move bits and pieces of the plot along. But if you remove him, the plot can still move along without him. Yeah, but we needed him for this one sequence. You can tell this is the third reshoot of this. And they also cut like 30 minutes of time out of it to try to make this a shorter film. I like Anthony Mackie. I think he's a cool dude. I still think he's someone that, you'd want to hang out with outside of being a superhero. He seems like a cool dude. I think he did a really good job with this. But man, I think that whoever works on these things, they need to do better. They just need to figure out the story they want to tell and then tell it. Quit focus grouping, quit constantly shifting everything like halfway through. Just, find a story that's coherent and makes sense, and not try to just haphazardly throw a dozen things together and be like, well, here's the movie we got, is we had to hit the release window. I mean, not the worst Marvel movie, not one of the better ones. This is kind of where we're at for this stage in the MCU.